Hélène Campbell, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. How are you guys doing?
We are good. How are you?
So good. My voice is still a little raspy, as you can see, but so good.
Well,
So good.
How raspy were you before the surgery and before all this happened? Did you always have a rasp in your voice?
I never really had a rasp in my voice, but I definitely maybe I had a little bit of a rasp.
I
And
bet
now
you
it's
did.
come out more.
Yeah, because I had heard that you were saying that your voice was different, and I was expecting you to say, hello, guys. You don't sound anything like that.
A couple weeks ago, that's what it was.
Yeah?
Yeah, my dad's like, you sound like Darth Vader. Laryngitis. Well, thanks.
Well, welcome back to the show. Ottawa misses you like crazy. Now, for those people who are new to your situation, tell everybody in a nutshell what has happened to you in the last year.
In the last year, I got diagnosed with an illness called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, which is an inflammation to the lungs that kind of stops the oxygen exchange from happening over a period of time. And the only way to treat it is with a lung transplant. So I moved from Ottawa to Toronto in January, and then Hot 89.9 jumped on the whole Twitter campaign that we did to raise awareness for organ donation to get Justin Bieber on board. And then all of Ottawa rallied together. He tweeted back, organ donation registration shot up. And since then, I've been waiting. Well, I was waiting. And then April 6th, I got my lung transplant. And since then, it has just been a remarkable journey to recovery. And since then, every day I've been getting stronger, and I can do stairs, and I can dance, and all these little things that I couldn't do before that I now can do, and it's amazing.
I mean,
Wow.
I know my life is just so pathetic when I compare it to yours. I mean, it's a great feeling for me if I go outside and I'm wearing new shoes. I'm like, that's such an awesome feeling on my feet. Like, you woke up. Do you remember that second where you took your first breath with your new lungs? Do you remember how that felt?
Yeah, I do. The very, very first time I took my breath with my first lungs, it didn't feel normal. It felt different because for the longest time, I've been breathing so short. Like I was breathing like really more panting. So I was used to breathing so quickly. So you had to retrain yourself how to breathe. So it wasn't an instant wow moment with me because I'd been feeling so short of breath for a while. So it took a while. But once I had that wow moment, I'd say it was once I got discharged and was able to walk the second time with my family, and they switched my medications because the first meds I was on, I was allergic to them. So for that first month, it was pretty tough. And we didn't know I was allergic to those meds. We kept thinking it was other things. So all the pain meds they were giving me, we thought, oh, you're allergic to those. And then we thought I was allergic to Tylenol. And I'm like, I can't be allergic to Tylenol. It's crazy. And then it ended up being that one med. So they switched it. And from there, breathing was so much easier because I guess my allergic reaction, I get inflammation in the lungs and just had difficulty breathing kind of. And just so since then, it was just much, much easier.
Well, it's been, like you said, an amazing journey. We're talking to Hélène Campbell, who's in Toronto right now. But I guess the main question everybody keeps asking me, on Facebook, and people who stop me at events, and everybody who knows that, you and I are in constant contact, when are you coming home? Do you have any idea? Because people really want to see you back here.
I can't wait to get back. They say, the transplant team said, between 3 to 6 months. It all depends on how the recovery is going. So far, it's been going well, but like they say, it could take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. They just want to be safe. I'd rather be safe than sorry,
Absolutely.
And I'd rather be able to, once I'm home in Ottawa, stay there for good, not have to come back, running back because of something else. So we'll see how things go, but I will definitely let you guys know. I can't wait to come back and just dance with everybody.
Well, I know Josie will dance with you.
Absolutely, Hélène. I'm all over that.
We may watch you dance.
Exactly. Now, the
I
other
gotta
question.
work on my dance moves.
Yeah, you have to work on it. Well, speaking of dance moves, that's the other question. People want to know, because you were on Ellen's show a few months ago, talking about organ donation, which is near and dear to your heart. And Ellen, was pushing it as well. And on the end of that interview, she said, you've got to come to my show and dance me. So a lot of people want to know, is that still in the cards? Are you going to be maybe dancing with Ellen this fall?
That's still in the cards. It's still in the cards.
Okay.
Well, it all depends on, because when you have a lung transplant, you can't fly for the first 6 months.
Okay.
And up to a year it could be. So we'll see. It all depends on when my transplant team says, yep, you're okay to fly. And then we'll be down in California dancing that away with Ellen, and just hoping that everyone can join in from their living rooms. And I want everyone to film themselves dancing with us so we can, remember that moment. So, yeah.
And
It'll be, I'll let people know for sure.
absolutely. And we'll let people know for sure on our Facebook and on our Twitter. And, if you follow us on Twitter and on Facebook, you know that everybody's supporting you, Hélène. We even put up a photo with you and somebody very special, actually 2 people special yesterday. You want to talk about hanging out with the Prime Minister and his wife?
That was amazing. It was just overwhelming as well. Like, this whole journey has just become, there's been a challenge, there's been a surprise, and there's been humor every step of the way. And yesterday, the surprise was Prime Minister Harper and his wife, and they presented this medal of the Diamond Jubilee for the awareness. But I just, I was so overwhelmed and just thankful and honored to be there. And then they're such nice people.
Yeah.
Like, talking with them, it was just so nice to talk to them and I know they've been busy with Prince Charles and time and stuff like that town. So it was really nice, I think, for them to be able to take time. It was just so nice.
Well, let's rewind for a sec. So in the span of a year, you've hung out with the Prime Minister and his wife. You got to chat with Ellen on her daytime talk show. Justin Bieber is paying attention. By the way, you've also had Justin Bieber's grandparents in your house just hanging out with you.
There's that.
You got to hang out with all the stars of the Hunger Games. I mean, the list goes on and on. But through all this, your main message is to be an organ donor, right?
Yeah, it never changes. Be an organ donor, give the gift of life. And now that I've received it, what a better advocate to say, look at the difference, guys, night and day.
Mm-hmm.
You've received life, and it's really sad that a family has to make a decision in such a tough time. They've lost someone they love, and yet they still have the compassion, and they still have what it takes to say yes. We'd like to be an organ donor, and that to me just speaks love more than words beyond belief. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
No.
I have life now because of this gift, and it's just remarkable. And for the rest of my life, I have to take these meds twice a day that remind me of this thing I have, these lungs, this new life, and it's just something I'll never take for granted, ever.
And I think that, your words, if anybody was on the fence as to whether or not they wanted to go to beadonor.ca and sign up, I think just hearing you talk this morning and knowing how much your life has changed is going to make the difference for sure. I think, every day of your life, you're going to be making a positive difference for other people who need it. So that's got to feel wonderful for you. You've done a great job.
Thanks so much. Just being home for Mother's Day, I could cook her a meal. Stuff like that. I wasn't able to do that at all. So it just meant extra little things I could do now that I couldn't do before. And I can get teary talking about them, but it's remarkable. And I think being an organ donor, there's no cost to it. It's something
exactly.
further down the line, and it's something we as a society can do to help save lives. And it's a selfless act. So I think, being an organ donor is something we can do, and even giving blood. So I really want to thank you guys for pushing that message along too. You haven't lost sight of that, and I think that's amazing.
Well, it's our goal, and we'll continue to do so for you, Hélène, and everybody else who needs it. So thank you for calling into us. I know you have a lot of things on the go today. There's some big things happening for you today, and I'm not going to say what that is right now, but people will find out soon enough. And
Yes,
we want to thank you for taking time to talk to us this morning, because it was really important for us to have the first words with you, because I know all your family, all your friends, all our listeners are listening every day to find out updates about you. So I'm glad you took the time to chat with us this morning.
Well, you know what they say, home is where the heart is.